Rawr.
Everybody get on the floor.
Rawr.
Everybody do the
Dinosaur.
dinosaur.
Ooh. Oh, man. I used to tweet that song.
Used to
Boom, boom.
tweet that song?
Yeah, I used to do it from the SCG Twitter account when they previewed the dinosaurs.
Wow, I'm pretty
Boom,
sure
boom,
they.
shaka-laka-laka,
Is
boom.
that why you
Boom,
don't
boom.
get to use the
That's
Twitter
correct.
account
Yeah,
anymore?
I'm banned from the Twitter because of that. There's a lot of dinosaur emojis in the lyrics of that song. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. Look, they got a lot of likes and retweets. Okay.
Yeah, that's all. That's what it's all about. That's my life, boiled down in a nutshell.
It's just true.
Say something funny, get a few likes.
Here's Thunderherd Migration, revealing, I believe, Ripjaw Raptor.
Man, we've come a long way from rampant growth. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it has been. It feels like
You
it's been
must-
forever.
You must play dinosaurs in order to play rampant growth now.
It's good flavor, at least.
Oh,
Give it
sure.
that.
It's a cool card. I'm just saying. It also allows for the light splash, which I like. The light blue splash.
Yeah. Rob Vaneman, he's your Team of Dinosaurs player. There is a Knight of Malice for Collins Mullen. Joe Zappacosta is playing Affinity. And Sean Crowley is playing Death and Taxes. There is Ripjaw Raptor.
Yeah, this card, Ripjaw Raptor, is very good against decks like Mono Red. Goblin Chainwhiller, in particular, looks kind of embarrassing against it because it's a must-deal damage ability. This is actually an ideal start from Collins' White-Black aggro deck, but it pales in comparison to what Ripjaw Raptor and a Rampant Growth look like.
Whenever Ripjaw Raptor is dealt damage, draw a card. So, yeah, go ahead, Chain Whirler.
Yeah, I do believe that if you have a Soul Scar Mage, the damage is replaced by -1/-1 counters. So if you have a Soul Scar Mage and deal some damage to it, they don't get to draw the cards. At least that's what I was told last weekend when my buddy Phil was smushing a Ripjaw Raptor with his Mono Red deck.
Well, Collins is having a little bit more difficulty with the 4-mana 4/5. He'll take 4. Here's the follow-up. It is Regisaur Alpha.
And now that does make a 3/3 haste creature, effectively, because he gives all other dinosaurs haste. But he wants to play maximum defense.
Yeah, and of course, with that Knight being a 3/2 at
Correct.
this stage, not going to do much with that dinosaur token. So we will get a 3/3 out here for Rob as we head back over to Collins, who is facing down some large dinos.
You know what would be kind of cool? If the Saga's just triggered on your upkeep like a normal Magic card.
Well, I believe there's a reason they trigger after you draw, like in your draw step. I don't know what it is, but I imagine that's what's. I have to imagine there's a reason.
I would guess that you're right, but come on.
Some sort of gameplay thing that we just haven't thought of, but that's not accidental. Colin's going to get a second 2/2 Vigilant Knight token.
I mean, it's looking really good for Rob right here, right? This Teamer Dinosaurs deck, it's not really that flashy. Like, there are some interesting, weird cards in it. Like, it has Nissa Steward of Elements, which can surprise kill opponents out of nowhere. Is particularly good against blue-white control because it's a Planeswalker that can accrue advantage, tick up scry to fix your draws, and just kill you sometimes. But for the most part, his deck looks like just a bunch of medium-sized dinosaurs. But this little number, this is the card I like a lot.
Sweltering Suns.
Yes. 3 copies main deck. It looks like he has come prepared to punish these white X decks that play History of Benalia. And in matchups where it doesn't do anything, just cycles.
Yeah.
Cycles.
Joe Zappacosta wins game number 1 over Todd Stevens real quick. As Affinity's up a game over Green-White Company.
Ha! He draw a card off for Ripjaw Raptor 2.
That's awesome.
Nice. So Rob looking insanely far ahead here. Collins Mullen actually has a Fatal Push, though, which is kind of cool. Since he lost, permanents, you have Revolt. You can stamp your bingo card again if you want. But, yeah. So that's cool.
Maybe a little surprised not to see the Regisaur Alpha attack that turn.
He's playing around Settle the Wreckage, which sometimes this deck plays some number in the main deck.
Okay.
He also Rob may also not be familiar with this black-white deck since it's mostly a Magic Online concoction, and he sees History of Benalia. He sees History of Benalia. He sees 4 mana untapped. Maybe Settle the Wreckage.
Sure.
You never know.
He can at least afford to play around it.
Yeah. And he's so far ahead here. He was even drawing a card. Plus, you want the Regisaur Alpha to stay in play as long as possible because it does give the rest of your dinosaurs haste.
Chapter 3 of History of Benalia.
Nothing.
Not going to do much. The book is ended.
Couple lines here for Colin. Collins, excuse me. He has a cast out which he can use to take care of the Regisaur Alpha right now. He sees the island. He may expect some weird type of counterspell protection.
And maybe something like Essence Scatter and a Gate.
Yep. He also has the option to just like play Heart of Kieran. I wouldn't be surprised if he just tries to take care of the Regisaur Alpha as soon as possible.
Let's go back over to Rob. Tapping 4. Chandra. Pretty good.
I would have really liked to have seen Rob attack with the Regisaur Alpha first, but if he's ticking up to play a dinosaur and have haste, then this play is more than fine.
Yep.
If he expects Settle the Wreckage, for example, you want your opponent to tap out, then you play Chandra. They don't have the ability to just use Cast Out, for example.
Well, here's an attack of Ripjaw Raptor. So he is very clearly playing around Settle the Wreckage
Yes, for sure.
by making the attacks that he has over the past couple of turns. It looks like Collins will take the 4.
Yeah, a reasonable decision here. He really wants to get Chandra off the battlefield with the Cast Out.
Chandra's taken care of. Let's go back over to Collins.
Rob's hand is stacked, too. He still has 2 Abrades, which can take out, potential blockers like Heart of Kieran. The problem being that if he does use the Abrade, it turns on the Fatal Push to kill the Ripjaw Raptor.
Scavenging Grounds is the land there for Collins. And now there is Lyra Dawnbringer. So,
I feel like 2 Abrades are coming the way of Lyra Dawnbringer, and 8 damage is going to Collins Mullins' face.
3, 6.
Ripjaw Raptor stays tapped forever.
Here is an attack
Smoosh.
for 8. Let's take a look at Regisaur Alpha. Haven't seen this one very much. A limited all-star, I'll tell you that much.
So one really cool thing about this Teamer Dinosaurs deck is that you would expect a deck like this to be playing Llanowar Elves or Servant of the Conduit, some way to ramp these out. Instead of going that route, we are playing Thunderheart Migration, not only to help fix for colors, but also so we don't have to play these little creatures, so we can afford to play main deck Sweltering Suns, which looked stellar on turn 4 this game, or turn 5.
Great in this matchup,
Turn
that's
6?
for sure.
Turn 5. Oh, yeah, 100%. There's so many little creatures that Collins can play that can get under this dinosaur deck, and having an answer like Sweltering Suns is a pretty big deal.
Walking Ballista for 1 into Heart of Kieran.
Well, Heart of Kieran cannot be crewed or blocked this turn. That Fatal Push going to be targeting Ripjaw Raptor, and Walking Ballista getting thrown under the Regisaur Alpha bus.
Yep, there's your block. Shoot you for 1.
Yep, and that'll turn on Revolt. That's such an easy stamp on your bingo card. I'm just actively angry about that.
You're going to need to take that up with Nick Miller.
I
don't make the cards, I just win the bingo. That's all I do. All I do is keep winning. Here's third Thunderherd Migration.
I wish there was a real prize that I would, I want to feel bad about losing, but right now I just feel nothing.
I can rub it in more. It'll get to you eventually, trust me.
All right.
Trust me.
Sure. Once I hit bingo, I'll be like, we're tied.
Yeah.
That's how bingo works, right?
We're going to head back over to Collins now. That's exactly how it works. Collins will be drawing here in just a moment, and now he's going to be playing a spell.
Something like a Karn.
All right, there is Karn.
Not a whole lot of 4-drops in his deck, so it had to be that one. So here he can make a chump blocker and still crew Heart of Kieran, so he has 2 potential blockers. Not only in case Rob has a removal spell, but also in case he has another dinosaur to play that would gain haste from the Regisaur Alpha's ability. So expect a tick down.
Well, you're going to get a tick up.
Woo!
Concealed Courtyard, Thopter Arrest. Of course, Thopter Arrest is going to go away. Concealed Courtyard is the land that Collins will play.
It's a bit of a gamble. I don't hate it. I'm not gonna say it's an incorrect play. I just I think it's a little dangerous because now any giant dinosaur just kills you. That said, another giant dinosaur, probably you're not in great shape anyway. maybe you just go for the high octane play.
How about that?
You could draw 3 cards.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Combustible Gearhulk.
You can have 3 cards.
What's going on here? All right.
Really, honestly, I hope that he says, okay, spin the wheel, hope it's 3 lands. But I'm pretty sure it's just 3 cards because any of his big key spells just kills Collins on the spot.
So enters the battlefield. Target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If the player doesn't put, this is the commune with the dinosaurs, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, then Combustible Gearhulk deals damage to that player equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Okay. We are one heck of a big mana deck here, folks. There's a land. Commune with the dinosaurs. Found a copy of Ripjaw Raptor. Now here comes Regrosaur Alpha. Going to turn on the Heart of Kieran. There's a block. They'll trade.
I don't love this attack. He's been very patient about keeping his Regisaur Alpha on the battlefield. Now Collins can minus the Karn, get the Thopter Arrest, and take care of the Gearhulk, whereas before I think he had to target Regisaur Alpha to prevent more things from gaining haste.
Makes sense.
But now the Thopter Arrest can just take down the Combustible Gearhulk, and then, Collins can start making some blockers or, play some more creatures that will eventually get rid, or, eventually be able to block the Ripjaw Raptor and follow up threats from Rob.
Let's see what this play is. Another copy of Heart of Kieran. All right. That's it for Collins. We're going to head back over to Rob Vaneman. It's got a lot of lands. Let's draw a card.
While Collins doesn't have a white creature in play, notably the enchantments Thopter Arrest and Cast Out are white and stay in play as removal spells, and they will pump the Knight of Malice.
Couple copies of Ripjaw Raptor here for Rob. He'll pass the turn back over to Collins. Again, both these teams undefeated here this weekend.
I hope they play faster. I want to see Turbo Depths.
It's a tough matchup there for Jody.
I think this is a pretty tough matchup for Collins as well.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like he's about to be in chump block mode, and that's a bad place to be against Ripjaw Raptor. Start drawing a bunch of cards.
Which is what these decks really do like. Now, there are some really nice cards for him to draw, too. More copies of Regisaur Alpha, another copy of Combustible Gearhulk. We haven't seen Carnage Tyrant yet, but there are 3 of those in his deck. Whew. Doesn't seem like it's getting any easier.
He's got 2 Galtas.
Oh, yeah.
Sup?
Rob Vaneman's trying to give beatdowns this weekend. All right, there's a Construct.
I love a man with a plan.
Same.
Rob Vaneman is a Rob Vaneman with a plan. I wish I had said that first. I love a Vaneman with a plan would have been way better.
There is a Knight, and we are going to shrink down a Ripjaw Raptor.
Cool. Sweltering Suns kill you. Sweltering Suns kill you. I'm rooting for it. That's not quite.
It's not quite kill you.
No, if he hadn't shrunk the Ripjaw Raptor, but Sweltering Suns, I'll draw 2 cards, kill your board. Heart of Kieran, I guess, can then trade with the Ripjaw Raptor, so that might not be that good.
Let's see what this is. Commune again?
Take a look in a book. It's Galta.
This may just be a land. Nope, it's Carnage Tyrant.
No.
Okay.
It's way bigger.
Yeah. Everything in his deck is big.
Yep.
Jeez. I will say, pretty important for him to have Thunderherd Migration on turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that. He's doing well. It's like you said, they don't really do the whole rampant growth thing anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've played a bit with Hour of Promise, and those decks tend to play some form of rampant growth effect.
Here comes old Ripjaw. It's a lethal attack.
Yeah, technically. All right. Double block here, more than likely incoming.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right, 4/5, not 4/4. Right.
A removal spell would spell disaster.
Mm-hmm. Construct is going to stay. Heart of Kieran will go away. Ripjaw Raptor will allow Rob to draw a card. There's a Rootbound Crag.
Big boy. Played a big boy.
Yep, there's Carnage Tyrant. That thing ain't no joke, folks. We'll take a look at Carnage Tyrant. We don't see it a ton in Standard, but we might if Rob keeps this performance up.
This deck does look sweet. And I have to assume if their team is 7-0, his deck at the very least has contributed a reasonable amount to their success.
Yes.
Being 7-0. If they were 5-2, it's a coin flip on how, he might be 7-0, he might be 2-5, But 7-0, like, he has to be doing reasonably well.
Uncounterable 7/6 trample hexproof is the Carnage Tyrant.
Is that it?
That's all it does. That's it. You're very difficult to impress, I see.
History Benelia here from Collins. The trampling damage is gonna hurt a little bit. I don't think it's quite lethal yet, even if he attacks with both.
They're getting darn close, though.
Mm-hmm.
What's this?
Something that costs 6. Nope, even more.
9.
Woohoo!
Oh, Nissa.
Boom!
Okay. He's dead.
Shotgun to the face.
Yeah, he's got to be dead,
it's
right?
It's 2 5/5s. It has to be lethal.
Yeah.
What could he have?
Yeah, he's got to be dead.
Fog?
Yep. Yeah.
Holy day?
Well,
nice.
Rob Vaneman is going to win game number 1 here over Collins Mullen. Teamer Dinosaurs up a game over white-black aggro in style with Nissa, Steward of Elements, going ultimate.
Feel good.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Well, we are going to try to top that. Rob is putting on a show here at 7-0. We take a quick break. We'll see you back here for more Dinosaurs in just a sec. are back. Cedric Phillips, Todd Anderson, getting ready to watch game number 2 between Rob Vaneman and Collins Mullen. Vaneman put on a little show for us a few minutes ago with his Team Dinosaurs deck.
Oh, boy.
And for Colin and his sideboard, well, he does have some things that are nice. 2 Duress, 2 Golden Demise, 2 Fumigate, 2 Angel of Sanctions, 2 Doomfall, 2 Fragmentize, 2 Treasure Map, and he settled the wreckage that Rob was playing around in game number 1, though Collins doesn't have it in his main deck. What do you like here, Todd?
Honestly, I don't know. It can go either way. I was actually just reading over Rob's sideboard, trying to figure out what Admiral's orders was. As far as Collins Mullen sideboard, I like Angel of Sanctions still. It doesn't die to Sweltering Suns, which is nice. There's a lot of very large creatures from Rob's side. The Angel being able to exile would be good. Fumigate seems fine. Even though Rob is a Sweltering Suns deck, he has a bunch of large creatures that Collins might not be able to naturally deal with. And just having that as a backup is not terrible. Doomfall, most of the creatures that Rob is going to play are going to be large 4 and 5 drops. It's not great against Regisaur Alpha, but what is?
That's true.
It's just a good card. You can also hit it out of his hand before he plays it, which is important.
We go to Rob's side with his 4 Death Gorge Scavenger, 2 Savage Stomp, 2 Negate, 2 Admiral's Order, which is the raid counterspell, along with 2 Heroic Intervention, 2 Thrashing Brontodon, and a Silent Gravestone.
You know, I should have known what that card did because I have seen it very recently as an answer to Settle the Wreckage, which is awesome. So from his side, you know, assuming that he thinks Colin still has Settle the Wreckage in his deck, he might actually bring in Admiral's Orders, which, you know, could be okay for stopping things like Cast Out mid-combat or something like that. It's also just cancel for 3 mana, so it's not bad. I don't know if he wants to be the control deck or the aggressive deck, so it's kind of up in the air. Thrashing Brontodon can probably come in. It's not a bad one just because he's seen Heart of Kieran, you know, and Cast Out, Thought to Arrest, those kind of cards.
And Seal Away.
Sure.
He's seen them all.
Yep.
So
yeah, I like Thrashing Brontodon. I'm not a huge fan of Heroic Intervention, though if Collins wins this game on the back of a Fumigate, you can bet your hiney Heroic Intervention is going to come in.
Well, those are your options there for both players. Both players taking a look at 6 cards right now, by the way. Little mulligan time.
Notably, Joe Zappacosta took down Game 1 against Todd Stevens. Todd Stevens notoriously has a very bad affinity matchup Game 1, but then Games 2 and 3, 14 sideboard cards or something
Yeah,
come
he's
in.
probably got a ton of goodies,
Just
right?
Katakis and Pride Mages and all sorts of good, you know, anti-affinity stuff.
And there is a Scrap Heap Scrounger to get this game started for Collins. Thunderherd Migration, revealing Ranging Raptors here for Rob Vaneman.
Let's get that one up on the screen.
You want to take a look at Ranging Raptors?
Yeah, man. Always.
I think it's 3 mana, 2/3 in Rage. You get to Rampant Growth, if memory serves.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good blocker out of this deck. It would have been very nice to have if he did not have the Thunderherd Migration, just because it can block and help get him to that point where he can start casting his bigger stuff. This is not like a, you know, normal dinosaur deck. You know, it's not trying to fight over and over again. Like, it does have, like, some copies of Savage Stomp in the sideboard. Does it have any in the main deck?
It does not look like it.
I did not think so.
Gonna go with Reckless Rage instead.
Yeah, so, I mean, people tried out, you know, various dinosaurs within Rage right when it first came out. I believe Michael Majors had a Ranging Raptors, like, hyper fight dinosaur deck on the Versus series, like, right when they spoiled that set.
Just trying to beat up his own dino.
Yeah. Also good when one of your lands enters the battlefield tapped. You know, you have something powerful to do on 3 mana.
That's true. That's true. There's Ranging Raptors on the battlefield. There for Collins, he's got the Knight, the Scrounger, and 4 mana. 4 mana is a good spot in his deck to be able to play a Karn. A couple other things as well.
Even if Collins has a white permanent here to boost his Knight of Malice, Rob actually just has the choice to use his Ranging Raptors as a Sakura Tri-Builder. Just block, let it die, go get a land.
Yeah.
And that might be good enough.
Well, Collins will not be attacking. He'll just play another copy of Knight of Malice and simply pass the turn back.
Sweltering Suns. Sweltering Suns. And I get a land. Haha. Oh, here it comes.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, baby. This is actually a fine attack if he has a Sweeper or a Regisaur Alpha.
Double
Double first strike. Oh, you only get 1, though, right, from combat damage? Same way with Ripjaw Raptor.
Well, perhaps Rob is making that attack because he really wants a land. And now if he's Sweltering Suns, it's kind of a free roll.
Bye-bye.
Yep, there is Sweltering Suns.
Now, Collins did leave up 2 mana, so he is going to be able to bring back that Scrap Heap Scrounger and apply some more pressure after getting swept. That's why it's in the deck. Good card against removal.
Now here is your Scrounger activation. Knight of Malice will be exiled, and we'll go back over to Collins, who needs something good to do this turn, honestly.
Yeah, something like a Karn would be pretty sweet here. Heart of Kieran or History of Benalia, all very good follow-ups. He needed a little more pressure. The Doomfall getting hit there with a negate, that's a big deal.
You saw the attack for 3 in the Shefford Oasis, Shefford Dunes, excuse me, before passing the turn back.
Here comes a big boy. I don't know what it is. It better be big.
That's all this deck does, right?
All right.
All right, Ripjaw Raptor is big enough.
Fine.
That counts to me.
No, it counts. I mean, it's something that Collins has to deal with at some point, or, you know, like he's just forced to chump attack into it, and that lets Rob draw cards while taking damage. You know, it's a very good roadblock if Collins doesn't have like a Thopter Arrest or something similar.
Let's go back over to Collins now.
That's Settle the Wreckage.
Well,
he brought it in.
Rob did play around that card a lot in the first game. Collins never had it, and he doesn't know the deck list. So will he run into it this game?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays super disciplined and just doesn't run into it at all. You know, he expected game 1, didn't see it. You know, Collins seems to be more on the aggressive side than most of these white decks that you've seen. But, ooh, that's a nice one.
Nissa is looking good in this matchup.
It's also an insanely good card if, well, that's not, oh, it ticked up.
Yeah, it ticked up to scry 2.
I was going to say, it should come in with 4. But so he scries 2. He's going to draw 1 in the next turn, probably 0, and get a free card onto the battlefield, which is nice. But once the matchup becomes more about Settle the Wreckage, Fumigate from Collins' side, a card like Chandra, Torture Defiance, or now Nissa are just so much better than they should be. Oh, here comes...
Oh, that's actually a pretty nice turn.
Yeah, that's fine. 2 for 1, spend your entire turn. You hit Nissa for a little bit, so he might not get the free card now. So that is a big deal.
Because it was scry 2, leave both on top very quickly there from Vaneman. Now Rob will draw.
Oh, sorry, hits it for 4 because of the Shefford Dunes.
Take a look at the top couple. Jeez. I would not feel good if I'm Collins.
Yeah, keep them both on top. I mean, a lot of times with Nissa, the play pattern is keep both on top because you want to 0 to put the other one in onto the battlefield. I feel like Rob has an Abrade here. Like, he has some instant speed way to protect the Nissa.
There you go. There's the Abrade.
I think his last card's Sweltering Suns too, and if he zeros and puts in like a Ripjaw Raptor, this is bad news for Collins.
You are busy predicting the future, my friend.
Well, he left both on top. Nissa was at 4. It's, you know, it's not a gift. Yeah. It's just an educated guess.
Yeah. Spire Bluff Canal is the land there for Rob. We head back over to Collins, who on Rob's end step will exile a creature from his graveyard to get back the Scrounger. And now we go back over to Collins. And there's another copy of Scrap Heap Scrounger. You do see an update in our middle match. Todd Stevens, Joe Zappacosta. They're all tied up 1-1. So perhaps we'll have some time to move that way. But if we can, we'll be moving over to Legacy to watch Jody Keith, as there is a Sweltering Suns to clear away these knuckleheads. And it looks like Jody just won his Legacy match. 2-0. So Turbo Depths does it again. Nissa is going to scry 2.
Just a great deck. Jody's version, you know, I want to talk a little bit about it if, you know, since we're not going to get to see it. But I really like his version.
Hey, he's got we call the deck Turbo Depths, but he's taking a much slower approach to the deck.
Just want to point out, Rob did not attack. Playing around, Settle the Wreckage, but also just keeping his Nissa up to 6 against the obviously returning Scrap Heap Scrounger. It always feels bad to exile a Scrap Heap Scrounger to bring back a Scrap Heap Scrounger.
It's not my favorite play, that's for sure. As Nissa is going to maybe continue to climb up. Yes, up to 8.
You only need 6 to 10 them, right?
Oh.
Ha! He did bring in Heroic Intervention. I'm pretty sure that's what that was.
1 on top, 1 on bottom there for Rob Vaneman with the scrying.
I feel like he needs to be a little more bold in the dark, just 0. 0, 0, 0.
Well, he's sitting so pretty right now, I think he can take his sweet old time, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Mullen will draw. He's got Settle Wreckage and now a mystery card. May have been Karn.
I believe it was a Karn. Karn here, it looks okay. You know, he doesn't have mana to cast the Karn and the Settle the Wreckage, so he'll put shields down for a turn. But he's not under lethal pressure just yet. But, if Rob expends a lot of resources, let's say he minuses Nissa for 6 to try to kill the Karn, for example, he could do it next turn pretty easily. And there is no threat of the Settle the Wreckage.
Karn going to go over to Collins' hand. Doomwake will be exiled for now. We'll go back over to Rob. Rob with that Nissa with 8 counters still. Let's see what this is going to be. Commune with the Dinos. Top couple of cards.
Land or Dinosaur. That's like all his deck is, right? Lands and Dinosaurs. Lands, Dinosaurs, and Commune.
Well, there's Regisaur Alpha, so that answers that. Commune with the Dinos is all done resolving.
All right, so Regisaur Alpha actually gives Rob enough power to kill Karn without having to minus the Nissa for 6. So that was actually a very good draw. Oh, he's doing both.
How much can he attack for?
I don't know. I hope he has another giant dinosaur. That's what, 10, 13, 17? Alpha can't go face yet. It does not give itself
doesn't have haste itself.
So it's not quite lethal. And I still think his last card's Sweltering Suns.
Yep.
That's... maybe just wants to cash it in before it gets hit with a, I don't know, hit by a exile spell, like a cast out or something.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because we're going to see an attack here for 10, I think, over to Collins, and these two creatures might just take out Karn, even though Collins has another Karn in hand. So maybe that's not great, and just say, you know what, I'll deal you 17.
Yeah, put him to 3. It's probably fine. With a Regisaur Alpha in play. Sure. I mean, he has another Karn in hand, so yeah, attacking the Karn, that's like 6 life. All he has to do is spend 4 mana to get it back, basically.
It's not a bad turn.
No.
Attacking for 17 rarely is. And I'm curious to see if we'll see him go right back to playing around Settle like he has been the entire match. Not just the game, the match.
Yeah, I would expect him to. It is pretty close, though. I mean, especially, like, let's say Collins minuses the Karn here and just passes turn. I think that you have to respect the Settle the Wreckage a little bit. So maybe you attack with 2 creatures. But it's really hard to give up, on-board lethal.
Well,
Collins tipping his hand a little bit, actually, but I think that's fine. If he's leaving himself no creatures or whatever, there's a good chance that Rob here just attacks with a token.
Just a token, right? No need to attack Ripjaw Raptor or Regisaur Alpha?
Yeah. If he thinks he has it, it's messed up because Collins only has 1 in his deck, and he drew it, and he's been holding it the whole game. But Rob has been playing around it for 2 games, and it's only been in the deck for half of them.
Yeah, he's literally playing around the card for 2 games, like you said.
And it paid off big time. He never lost that Ripjaw Raptor. It's drawn multiple cards through, like, Sweltering Suns and such.
It's pretty incredible how much he's played around this card.
Yeah, now he put Collins in a spot where he's in super chump block mode.
And this doesn't even seem like a situation that Karn can get Collins out of. Let's see what this is going to be. Cycle Shelter Thicket, draw a card.
Burn spell.
Oh, boy, he's oh, boy.
That's a lot.
Combustible Gearhog, all right.
I'll draw 3.
Well, yep, definitely draw 3. Thunderherd Migration among them. We might have a deck tech coming in front of us here, folks.
Get Nick on the phone.
Yeah. Oh, Galta. Galta, okay.
I'm pretty sure he could have just cast Galta. He chose instead to play Thunderherd Migration. That should show you how powerful Thunderherd Migration is.
Yeah. How about Galta instead? I'm gonna hold this just in case for a little later, assuming there is later.
Yeah. If there is a later. Collins just has 1 card in hand. He has a draw step and an activation of Karn, but they have to be 2 really good ones, or else Collins just going to get the dud.
This is a thorough beatdown.
Dude, Dinosaur's looking nice.
This This was a thorough beatdown.
Dinosaurs are looking good.
Playing around settled the records the entire game, too. Or the entire match.
Yeah.
Where he could have gotten a little bit more aggressive, but
didn't need to.
Didn't need to.
Good spell, bad spell. I'm going to go with bad spell.
I wonder how this deck is against blue-white.
You know who has haste next turn?
Galta.
Galta.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what Collins absolutely has to do next turn? Hold up 4 mana. Just 100% for the rest of the game.
Yep.
You have to hold up 4 mana. Just make them think you have it. Otherwise, you lose to Galta.
And everything else that's going on over here.
It's so big. Why is it so big?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Show him who you are, Collins.
It can't block.
I know.
You know, he's got to get the fatal push up in there.
Draw a card from the Ripjaw Raptor.
Oh, yeah.
I still love it.
No, he's going to go.
Well, fortunately for Collins Mullen, Todd Stephens won the modern match 2-1.
Collins getting hard carried.
Collins
Just
get on the back of the squad. That's why it's a team tournament, because he was getting